Welcome to this lesson on dividing decimals. So we're going to begin by looking at what happens when we divide decimals by powers of 10. Powers of 10 are numbers like 10, 100, 1000, etc. Any numbers that are ending in zeros. So we'll begin with 20 divided by 10. This here isn't a decimal question, and it's one hopefully that you can tell straight away is 2. Now we can make this a decimal by making 20 20.0. So dividing by 10. Now when we're dividing, what we're doing is we're shifting all of these numbers across to the right. And we're shifting them by the number of zeros in the power of 10. So in our 10 we have 1 0, so we're shifting it to the right 1 position. So if we shift 20 to the right, the decimal point remains in the same spot. We end up with 2.0, which, as we know, is 2. Now for the next one, we're dividing by 100. This time we have 2 zeros, so going to move our number to the right 2 positions. So we have 243.0 divided by 100. We're going to move it across 2 positions, and we get 2.43. For the last one, we're also dividing by 100, so we move across 2 positions. So we move 2 positions, and in our number, we can put as many zeros before as we would like. That doesn't change our number at all. So if we're moving it across 2 positions, we keep our decimal point where it is. We move 0.0243. As you can see, the 2 used to be in this position here. It's been moved 1, 2 places. And the other numbers have been moved similarly. So we get this number at the end. Now we don't always divide by powers of 10. And in this case we use short division, which is the same as you would for any other number. So I'll show you an example. If we had 4 and we're dividing 240 by 4, we'd set it up like this. We'd ask how many times does 4 go into 2? We know it's 0 times. How many times does 4 then go into 24? We get 6. And how many times does 4 go into 0? 0 times. So our answer here is 60. Now we'll do the same thing with exactly the same numbers but with a decimal. So we'll set it up the same. 4 goes into 2.40. So we're dividing 2.40 by 4. Now, the difference here is we have to be very careful and make sure that we put our decimal point above where it is in the number that we're dividing. So we begin like we would before. 4 goes into 0 times. This number here is now 24. 4 goes into 24 6 times, and 0 times. So our answer is 0.60, which is the same as 0.6. Now this is exactly the same as before, but now we are dividing by a decimal. And we don't want to divide by decimals. So what we're going to do is if we times both numbers by 10, we're going to get the same answer in the end. This number is no longer going to be a decimal, so we can divide it. Because we don't know our 0.4 times tables, but we know our 4 times tables. So if we multiply these numbers by 10, we get 24.0 divided by 4.0. Because remember, timesing by 10, we're moving everything across 1 position to the left. So now we have this expression here. We can put this into our short division. We get 24.0, and we know that 24 divided by 4 is going to give us 6. So we end up with our answer as 6.